Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today's video is another episode in my batch cooking and freezing meals. So in today's video I'm going to be batch cooking some more meals for our freezer. We are doing this because imminently there's a baby coming very soon. So we thought it'd be really helpful just to have some really good, nutritious, delicious meals in the freezer. If you haven't seen the haul and the first lot of batch cooking I've done, I've linked both those videos down below. Today's batch cooking video, I'm really excited to get started. We're making curry, breakfast burritos, loads more going on today in today's video. I'm going to be doing like a voiceover and just telling you how things are done, showing you what ingredients and how much of each thing I use. This is batch cooking on a budget because everything generally we buy from Aldi, so we've saved a fortune, and all the meals make at least 4 to 6 to 8, sometimes even 10 meals for 2 grown adults. So it's been amazing doing this because I've never properly batch cooked before, and already I've learned just how much money we could save and how much better we could actually be eating, because a lot of the recipes are super duper simple but they're kind of really delicious. They're homemade, so we know what's going in them, and yeah, it's just going to save us money and time when the newborn baby's here and we haven't got the money all the time. So enjoy today's video. Obviously you do not need to have a baby on the way to join in with this series. You could be a couple looking to save money, a family who's got not much time on their hands. Really recommend doing this. It's been a lot easier than I thought it would. But yes, let's get into today's video. If you're enjoying this series, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because it really helps my channel out. And yeah, let's just go. Okay, so here's my creamy tikka masala recipe. I posted a picture of this on Instagram and honestly I had so many messages asking me how to make it. So the first thing you're going to need is tikka masala seasoning. I actually found these sachets in Aldi, so I was really lucky to find them because they were in special buys. This is a chicken curry. You can make it vegetable as well, maybe use some butternut squash or something. I used 5 large chicken breasts for this recipe and it serves 6 ml. I want some herbs and spices, well, spices mainly. It's all written down below, but you can copy me or you can add your own. A whole bulb of garlic, because the more garlic the better, am I right? A chunky chopped tin of tomatoes, some fresh British double cream because this is a creamy curry. You can use yogurt if you want. Also a whole bag of spinach because got to get that iron in there, haven't we? I also use some coriander, 2 large brown onions, olive oil, some tomato puree, and yeah. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is marinate the chicken for quite a few hours if you want maximum flavour. So I get my chicken breasts, and as I said, I use 5 to 6 large chicken breasts and cut them all up. I really struggle with anything raw chicken, it makes me sick. Put it in a freezer Ziploc bag and then use 2 of these tikka masala sachets. Or if you have like a jar or a paste or something, just use like quite a good amount, and some olive oil, and put them in the bag with the uncooked chicken and make sure everything's coated properly. And then you're going to put this bag in the fridge for several hours. If you're really in a rush, you don't have to do this because the flavors will still be there when you come to cook it. But yeah, this like really gives the chicken like a great tikka masala flavor. Okay, now that chicken is in the fridge, I get preparing everything else. So take your garlic apart. As I said, I use around a whole bulb, but you can use like half a bulb, 3/4 of a bulb. I like to make it nice and garlicky. This is a revolutionary way of peeling garlic. Just smash it a bit first and then the skins come off so easily. It's such a lifesaver. Cut your onions and dice them completely, and then we're actually going to fry everything. So put your garlic and onions in a wok, a large wok or a frying pan or something, and just fry them for a while until they're nice brown and soft. And this is actually making the tikka masala sauce. So we're going to use another sachet of tikka masala, or again another big teaspoon of paste, tikka masala paste or something, and coat the onions and garlic with that. Bring over your spices and get pouring. So I use smoked paprika, gives it a nice smoky, like almost barbecued flavour. I use hot chili powder just to give it a little bit of spice. I don't put too much of this in, but Lawrence really likes a bit of spice, so I have to like compromise and put some in. Some ground cumin, some garam masala. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's got a nice flavour in a curry. Some crushed chilies. Mix that all together, make sure it's all coated properly. And then we're going to add our chunky chopped tomatoes, just 1 tin will do. Add a big squeeze of tomato puree just to thicken up the sauce. Let that kind of sizzle for a while. Is sizzle a right word? I'm not sure. Then I wash that whole bag of spinach, and I'm going to throw the whole bag of spinach in there. It seems like it's going to be excessive, but I'm sure if you've cooked spinach before, you know that it whittles down to barely anything. So I do throw a whole bag in there, and it's such a great way to like just add more nutrients. So as you can see, the spinach is all whittled down. It's looking really good so far. The next thing I do is get the chicken out of the fridge quite a few hours later, and I'm going to add that to a separate frying pan, because you're going to want to fry this chicken for a while on its own. Make sure it's fully cooked. Everything you're going to cook here has to be completely and utterly fully cooked before you freeze it, and it has to be completely and utterly cooled down before you freeze it. So yeah, that's just a heads up. Okay, once the chicken has completely cooked in the frying pan, in a separate frying pan, you're going to add it to your sauce base and start cooking it all together. Mix it together and get all the flavour from the bottom of the pan. So now comes the fun bit. You get to add the cream. As I said, you can use yogurt or vegan-based yogurts, so it's completely up to you. We're just adding double cream because, you know, got to keep the calories up. But anyway, mix that together. It becomes really creamy and gorgeous, and just cook that in for a while. I add about 3/4 of this like very average sized pot of cream. That is more than enough cream. I don't add the cream to the very hot pan. I make sure it's all cooled down slightly, just because you don't want your cream to curdle. It makes 6 adult meals, so I separate it into 3 different bags. We will serve this on the day with some rice or some naan breads, and then a side of maybe dal. Or a side of Bombay potatoes, which is just fried potatoes and spinach and things. And yeah, it's so delicious. I really highly recommend you make it. Okay, the next thing we're going to be making today is breakfast burritos. I'm so excited to try these. I haven't actually tried one yet, but they look great. So essentially you're going to be making like a burrito with basically a full-on breakfast in the burrito. That's what a breakfast burrito is, so well done. So the first thing you're going to need is sausages of your choice. I'm going with making half of these with pork sausage for Lawrence, and half is being made with some vegetarian sausages from Sainsbury's, which are my favourite. You're also going to need some hash browns, which are some of my favourite things in the world. Just a top tip, the Tesco hash browns are so nice. Probably the best hash browns you can buy, much better than branded. To need some eggs. We're going to be making some scrambled eggs. You're going to need some double cream again, some salt, pepper, some wraps, large wraps preferably, because a lot is going to go into this. You're going to need some grated cheddar cheese, a bit of coriander, and some chopped up tomatoes. To be honest, it's up to you what you put in there. On the day I'm probably going to serve this with beans, or Lawrence will when, you know, baby's here and we're kind of stuck under a sleeping baby. The first thing you're going to do is de-skin any pork sausages or chicken sausages, whatever you want. But de-skin them. Lawrence obviously done this because that would not go down well with my very fragile stomach during pregnancy. And then you're going to fry the sausages, breaking them up into lots of little pieces. I'm also going to grate a big large amount of cheese because we're going to be making 8 to 10 large burritos in this batch. They're actually really easy to make and very therapeutic. So grate all your cheese. When your sausage is completely and utterly cooked, put it into a separate bowl so it cools down completely. The trick here is every bit of food you want to cook properly, and when you're loading it into your wraps, you don't want it to be warm at all because it's going to make the wraps soggy. So make some scrambled eggs. I used 5 to 6 eggs, I believe, and whisk them together, add some salt and pepper, and top up with a little bit of cream, just like 2 tablespoons amount. If you make scrambled eggs with milk or whatever, just basically make scrambled eggs how you normally make them. We use cream because it makes them really creamy and lovely. So once they're cooked, again, separate them into a little bowl. I've cooked the hash browns separately. I tell you what would be so nice in this as well, and I totally forgot, some like nice fried mushrooms or grilled mushrooms. Maybe next time. But yeah, I cut up some tomatoes. These were on offer in Aldi this week, so I just thought tomatoes would go good in this. There's my grated cheese. Also chop up the hash browns into lots of little potato-y bits. It's really difficult to sit next to a plate of hash browns and not eat it, basically. And also wash your coriander if you decide to put coriander in there. And then when everything's cooled down, just sit down, grab yourself some tin foil and your wraps, start loading them up. I go with the egg first. To be honest, every wrap I changed how I did the order because I wasn't really sure. But just add a bit of everything, just go wild. You don't have to add all the ingredients I did. You can add extra or less. The only thing I wouldn't recommend is adding beans into this because it's going to make it really soggy. I do add cheese to the top because then it can like melt over everything when we come to cook it. It's really important to make this wrap already on a big square of tin foil because this is actually quite difficult to wrap up. But by the second or third breakfast burrito, I did actually really get the hang of how to like properly wrap this up, and it became like a really therapeutic task. But yeah, here's me attempting the first one. I think it went okay, to be fair. So wrap it completely, really tightly in your tin foil because these are going to go into the freezer. What's absolutely fantastic about these is when you want to serve them up for that day, we can just take 2 burritos out of the freezer that day and put them straight into the oven. You don't have to take them out of the tin foil or anything, just put them straight into the oven for about 30 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius, and they'll be nice and baked and warm and delicious, hopefully anyway, on the date that we eat them. And yeah, again, I label everything up because it's important to know when things went into the freezer. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's 2 recipes in today's batch cooking. I'm absolutely loving batch cooking, and it's definitely going to be an ongoing thing in my life because it's saved us so much money already and so much time. But yeah, let me know if you make any of the recipes below. I hope you're all doing really, really well, and I'll see you again really soon, and I love you so much. Bye.